And now that I've done that, all of my clips are in my timeline and they're ready to be edited. Now I want to zoom into my timeline so I can see everything that I'm doing a little bit better. And there are a couple ways to do this. The first way is by holding down Ctrl on your keyboard and pressing the plus button on your keyboard. Every time I press plus, it's zooming into the timeline. To zoom out of the timeline, again, hold down Ctrl and then press the minus button on your keyboard. Doing that will zoom out of the timeline. Now, the other way to do this, and the way that I prefer doing it, is by holding down Ctrl and then scrolling up on your mouse wheel. Every time I scroll up, it's zooming in, and then every time I scroll down, it's going to zoom out. I'll zoom in a little bit more here, and I think that's just about right. Now, let's talk about trimming your clips. Looking at clip 1 here, it's currently about 11 seconds long, which is too much. So I'll use my playhead to go through my footage and find a point that I want to trim the footage down to. Your playhead is this little white marker here in your timeline, and it indicates where you are in your video. So as I drag the playhead forward in the video, you can see in the player there that it's actually going through the video live. As I move my playhead backwards, I go backwards in the video, and as I move it forwards, I go forward in the video. Now, looking at my footage here, I think I want to trim the footage down to right about here when the camera gets nice and centered. To trim this clip down, there are a couple different ways to do it. The first way is by splitting the clip. If I go to this small icon right here in my timeline and click on it, it will split the clip where my playhead is. You can also just press Ctrl and B on your keyboard, so you don't have to keep clicking on this button over and over again. Now, since I don't want everything on this side of the playhead, I will just simply press the delete button on my keyboard to get rid of it. The next way to trim your footage is by dragging the clip. So with my mouse here, if I go to the end of my clip, you'll see as I reach the end, it turns into this small icon. Once it does that, I can hold down left click on the clip and then drag it into my playhead. As I do that, it's lengthening and shortening the clip. Now, the final way to trim your footage is by pressing the W and Q keys on your keyboard. If I press the Q key on my keyboard, it will delete everything on the left side of the playhead. And now if I take my playhead and go back in, I can press the W key to delete everything on the right side of the playhead. Now those are the main ways that you'll trim your footage in CapCut. Now we've already covered the split button here at the top, but let's look at some of the other tools that are available to us here in our timeline. Starting from the left, this is pretty much stuff we've already covered. We have our undo and redo buttons. Then we have split along with W and Q. We also have our delete button here. And then we have our marker tool. Pressing this allows you to put markers down on your footage and timeline, and that allows you to indicate actions or points where you want to edit your footage in the future. Next to that, we have the freeze frame button. If I click on this with a clip selected, it will create a still image of our clip. Next to that, we have the reverse button. Clicking this will reverse your footage.